Afternoon, everybody. Hope you've all had a good morning so far. I know it's an action-packed day, so I won't take up too much of your time, but I did want to just cram in a little video around about 10 to 15 minutes, just with some key points around Microstrategy that I think, based on the feedback that we've had across the region, there's quite a lot of questions about it. So I want to just cover off some of the top tips that I can offer that can maybe make a difference to how you lead your operations on a daily basis. First of all, for those of you that may not know me, hopefully everyone does by now, but I'm Jerry, store manager at Meadowbank, and I've been kind of guiding you guys through what we've been trying to do with increasing our market share in Scotland over the last 3 to 4 months. Hopefully you've had a wee bit of a summary from Sam. You'll see how absolutely brilliant we're doing in certain parts of the store, particularly fresh, which is great because that's the big bit we've been focusing on, and we're really starting to steal a match on competitors, particularly with MFP, so that's excellent to kind of see. Unfortunately, I can't be there today because I'm on holiday, but I did think it was important to kind of cover this off, especially because you're all together. So I'll try and keep it as short and as brief as I can. I'm trying to do this in one take, so if there's any glitches, I will just soldier on, as it were, and adopt an ethos of fast failure. So I guess, as Sam's kind of alluded to probably before this video, there is a lot of data floating around, particularly around market share, but we've got some excellent stuff at our disposal through the Microstrategy system. So I just wanted to cover off a couple of key bits on that. I'd like to point out that I'm not an expert on the system by any way, shape or form. I just have played about with things and kind of got some reports in some places where I think it makes a big difference to myself and my team how we look at things. So I'll just open the system up and kind of talk you through 2 or 3 bits, if that's okay. So I guess I've firstly reset everything back to the beginning. So these are kind of the 3 most important ones that I deal with on a daily basis in terms of looking at commercial performance of the store anyway. And I'm going to direct us towards SWS categories to begin with. So I suppose every bit of this system is all about presentation of information, but drilling down different levels again and again and again. And we can go really far on this, and it gives us a lot more than we've ever probably been used to in Sainsbury's. The one thing I would say is it can be a bit overwhelming. Firstly, particularly if you're new to the business or new to a department such as food, there is a lot of information. But what I'll try and kind of show you is how we can simplify that a bit and look at what really matters. First thing I kind of would want to look at is how do we look at department information and specifically certain areas of a department. So we'll click on week and then go to department. You can see quite clearly all the departments there in the store and a range of different measures for those departments. One thing I would say is the 2 probably most important functions on this report for me are the reset button here, the little clock, and the filter on the right hand side. So if I was to, for example, say, how do we pull together meat, fish and poultry sales for your store? So the process is relatively simple. It's a series of clicks, and these can be saved in the form of what's known as a bookmark. I guess the subject matter being MFP is relevant. The same process would go for any part of the store. So first thing you would do is go to filter. You would then take all the departments, clear them all and select fresh, apply that. That would then just give you specifically fresh foods. And then if you go into the subcat section, clear all of that, select the areas that are specific to that aisle. Straight away that gives you the total for that area. So that's at department level. So then once you can go into Supercat, drill it a bit further, and it shows you the breakdown of the different categories within meat, fish and poultry. And then further into category, and then again, subcat level. Now looking at what is on the category page there, you can see there's some cheese and milk, etc. that's dropped into that. That's obviously because I've chose something that shouldn't be in the subcat list. It's dairy. So apply that. So that should now give us all of everything in the meat, fish and poultry section of the store. Going even further into subcat level, you can then see specifically sales, waste and shrink by subcat right across that department. A handy function of this is when you right click at the top and click sort all values, this very, very quickly shows which areas of your department are up and which are down. So it ranks it quite neatly there, which is brilliant. So fantastic function, firstly. I think, as I've kind of alluded to at the beginning, that this process is just a series of clicks where you can drill down as far as you like. Once you get to this point, this is where, if you would want to use this information and have a quick and easy way of getting to it, then this is when you bookmark it. The bookmark function is here. So what this basically do is just save exactly what you've got on the page. So you click the plus and then call it what you like. Save that. And that then means that every single time you go into this report, you can quickly click on that and it'll bring you to it. So for example, if you look at some of the other bookmarks I've made, you've got meat, fish, produce there, and that can be accessed really easily. If I go back to the MFP one, this is probably the biggest one that people have asked across the region, is how do they then see their performance versus the rest of the region? So firstly, if you want to look at regional sales by subcat or by supercat level, you must save that bookmark first. So bookmark's been there. If I then click on sales, that then gives us a very quick glance of sales by for the day for that area of the business. If you go week and then period 9, week 1, this then shows you total sales for all those subcats combined for last week, or for week to date, should I say. So this is where I get the information when I pull together the report on a weekly basis that I send down. So just a handy function there that kind of I'm not sure everyone's aware of. Similarly, on that you can then filter it in the same way that you would with the other one to show smallest to biggest or highest percentage, etc., etc. So there you are. I think if we go back to the original bookmark, one other thing that's a really handy tool that again is not specific to this bookmark particularly, but once saved, you can then share that bookmark with whoever you like. That will then share them an email and it will open up specifically like that when they open the link within their email. So appreciate obviously quite a lot of clicks there. This will be part of the pack and will be sent out again afterwards, so you can look at that in a bit more detail. I suppose the final thing that I'm not able to show through this, but you might know there's an app you can use as well. So it's called the Library app, and basically that is an app on your phone where you can have all your Microstrategy data and access it whilst you're on the shop floor, which is a really handy feature, especially when you're looking at subcat or category performance and you're standing on the shop floor looking at it. It's just a much easier way of doing so rather than looking at it through the colleague hub. So that's a really quick whistle-stop tour of SWS categories. I know that we'll have varying degrees of understanding and usage of that right across the region at all levels, but that's the kind of main key aspects of what I would look at. And as you can see, I've got a few bookmarks already saved in there that I use on quite a regular basis. So that's that one to begin with. I think next one that, again, not everyone's aware that exists is the retail priorities dashboard, and specifically winning the right locations. So where this becomes a game changer is that you can look at your period performance and your year-to-date performance by department. And that's something that we've been missing since the loss of the old category sales report. I guess the one thing to point out at this point is that you're not able to look as deep as, for example, meat, fish and poultry sales by period. You can only get fresh foods as a whole. And that's something that we've asked for. And the team are looking at it, but for the time being, we're not able to get that. So I'll just talk you through a couple of features on this. So this is the landing page. I think the best way to look at this is when you click Stores, and then click on Win in the Right Locations. So you'll then be presented with quite a lot of information on this page, and it's all at regional level, which is good to see, but it's better when we look at it from a more specific point of view for your own store. So this can give us period reports, period sales information by department for every period of the year. So again, similarly, filter up on the right hand side. You want to probably clear all the stores firstly if you want to look at your own. Apply that. And on this page then you've got every department of the store combined for the period, and quite a lot of different metrics. I think when you look at this here, this all section, you can select any department that you wish. So if we look at produce, for example, it then gives produce total sales, sales year on year, sales 2 year to year, the total waste, shrink, etc., for that department for the whole period. One thing to point out on this is you'll obviously see columns that say sales budget and sales versus budget. Obviously produce doesn't have a sales budget, so that information is irrelevant on this landing page at the moment. So that's where these selections in this section here become quite important. So I would suggest that we can just quickly take them away, which will give you the pure data for that department. You can then look at that for year to date, and that's again giving us the full store there. So click that away into produce, and that gives you a really quick view on where your department's performing year to date. Probably the best function on this section is the grid. So when we look at that, that will give us all your departments down the left hand side and a range of different pieces of information for each period across the whole year. Now it looks like I've got this set to what I had before when I was last in, but again, there's just a case of selecting whatever you want within the boxes to give the information you want. And then again, if you find how you want to display the information and you quite like how it looks and you'd like to look at that and regularly each period, then it's just a case of saving a bookmark again in the same way that you would. Save that, and similarly again, this can be shared with anyone. You can then reduce the amount of pages you want to look at. Use the function on the left hand side here if you wish. So hopefully that gives a bit more data guidance and sort of gives a wee bit of a flavour of some of the things you can do with the system. My big kind of piece of guidance would be that take yourself away for a while and really start to play about with the system and find out what works for you. I've obviously shown you the things that I do in a certain way. Like I say, I'll add another slide into this pack that will show the screenshots of what it looks like on the library app, which I think is a really, really handy tool, especially when you're walking around the shop floor, talking to your food managers, talking about what does a subcat look like and what we can do to improve it, and really having the data in your hand or indeed on your phone or indeed on an iPad. So I guess thanks very much for that short 50 minutes. I'm going to be running a couple of sessions when I return from holiday, so look out for the dates on that if you fancy something a wee bit more interactive. I know that's very much a whistle stop and we've only looked at certain elements of the app as well. But I guess the theory around how you drill into the data should be the same across all the different apps that you look at, whether it be iCare, Front End, Argos, Nectar, etc. So I'm going to then pass you back to the room. I know this is a bit awkward, so apologies for that, but Sam is going to take you down onto the shop floor and really try to bring to life some of the stuff that he's done with this really good data that he's had at his disposal, and show the impact that that's had on his department. So I guess thanks very much for your time, and please do enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.